All right. Welcome in, Nagy Nation. Here, bringing you more playoff action. This an NFC Divisional matchup between the hot Atlanta Falcons, who are resurgent this season with some incredible free agent moves. They got a lot better in our virtual offseason. And then the red-hot Dallas Cowboys, who have been incredible. They had a 15-2 record in the regular season. So here they are in the NFC Divisional against a resurgent Falcons team that have been up and coming. Of course, you voted for it, and it happened here on the channel. Lamar Jackson starting for the Falcons. But they'll go ahead and kick off, and the Cowboys will be the first one with the ball here in this game. All right, so the Cowboys are going to start here. Here comes out Dak Prescott. He's going to lead his red-hot. There's a look at his season numbers. Very good season for him, over 5,000 yards on the season. But he's going to start on his 25-yard line. Quick little handoff. Room to work. He's got some space, and being caught up there is Zeke Elliott after a pickup of 14. Welcome in, Applied. Welcome in, Larry. Go Browns. And Larry, so it's just me today. Phil is pretty busy with volleyball games and some other stuff going on. As a deep strike down the middle from Dak Prescott is complete. That was a beautiful ball. Just look back in time to see that one. It was Tolbert on the receiving end of that one. Good for 23 and another first down. So I don't know when the Chiefs game is going to be, but obviously that one will be next, as that's the last one of the divisional games to be played. Quick little dump off to the right side to his tight end. We'll pick up only one. That's Ferguson on the reception. But I don't know when that game will be coming up. Obviously, we don't. It's actually we have to do the other divisional AFC round before the championship. If the Chiefs are in it, obviously the Browns are going to the AFC Championship. They already won their divisional. It's just a question of who are they going to play. We haven't played the other AFC Championship or divisional game yet, as Zeke is going to get a quick handoff there, but that one is going to be stymied. So Grady Jarrett in on the tackle. This Falcons defense got a lot better in free agency. They picked up a number of big names, as did their offense. They had a lot of guys that came over. Obviously, we just talked about Grady Jarrett. He's been a staple for them, but Draymond Jones came over. They had a first-round DN, Tyree Wilson, who's a superstar already here in our sim. And then rookie linebacker from Oregon, Sewell, and Von Bell. So a fun defense there. But then also on offense, Lamar Jackson, we already talked about him. Josh Jacobs is a big free agency signing for them. Of course, they still got Pitts and Evan Ingram's. OBJ was signed with the Falcons in this sim. Of course, London is still there. Richie James, Brian Edwards is their receiving corps. So they've got quite a crew. And here comes Lamar as he led quite the comeback season for these Atlanta Falcons. Little stretch out to the outside for Josh Jacobs. Nice little fake out to the outside, and he is going to pick up 7. Hey, Karen, welcome in. Happy birthday. Welcome in, Rick. And go Browns. A little fake to the outside with the ball's out, but it recovered by his own player. Fortunate for Lamar, but he went backwards on that one. I believe that was, I didn't catch who that was that recovered the fumble. But Josh Jacobs is going to carry this one. A big gashing hole up the middle. And that one is going to go for a whole bunch of yards. Only his second carry, but 27 yards on the ground already for him. A big chunk of it right there. 1st and 10. Hey, Fellegren, welcome in. And congrats to your son for his success in today's competition. Well, I formation here for Lamar. And the handoff goes to Josh Jacobs. Another big hole, makes a tackle miss, and out past the first down again. He has been running with his hair on fire out there as Josh Jacobs, the big free agent signing for the Falcons in the offseason. And he's been very successful for them already on this drive. So 1st and 10 here out of the gun now for Lamar. Josh Jacobs looks a little winded. And it is going to go to Josh, but well defended out there. Just cutting underneath it and getting his hand on it as the linebacker able to defense that. Hand off to Josh. Quickly tackled there near the line of scrimmage. In fact, they'll call it no gain. A tight bunch formation to the left here. Lamar in the gun, 3rd and 10. Back to pass. Over the middle, he's got a man wide open. Touchdown, Atlanta! And that was OBJ who went ahead and scored that touchdown for the Falcons. He, of course, another free agent signing for these Falcons. And they are red hot to start this game. Just absolutely taking this defense to task, marching them right down the field. And scoring very quickly is OBJ, who, by the way, I'm pretty sure it was OBJ that recovered that fumble, saving this drive. Lamar had fumbled. OBJ lost some yardage in the process, but managed to recover the fumble. Yeah, absolutely, Fellegren. So far, Atlanta's hot here. But don't forget, Dallas had a lot of success this season. They were 15-2, so they've definitely done well. But they did struggle in that first drive of the ball game. So Atlanta's defense came to play, and they certainly can say the same thing of their offense, as they just absolutely marched down the field with ease on that last drive. Dak Prescott now under center. Single back is Zeke. Hand off to Zeke. Big hole out to the right side. And then does get wrapped up and taken down after a pickup of 6. Rick, that's a good question, especially considering they're both playing in this game for a different team than the Ravens. Obviously we did not have OBJ go into Baltimore. As a quick strike to his tight end out to the outside there. So the question, is then, does Lamar actually come back because they signed OBJ? There's two sides to that story, or two sides to that question. You could certainly see the excitement, potentially of playing with OBJ for him. Does that entice him to actually sign the franchise tag and play, even though he feels, slighted, I would say, by Baltimore in their front office. The other part of it, though, is they threw an awful lot of money OBJ's way to get him to sign, probably well over market value. A lot of folks had him, market value $6 to $8 million, somewhere in there, and they went ahead and $15 million with incentive based up to $18 million, which is just a big old pot of money, and that's yet more money that got thrown around without any of it going to Lamar. So very, very interesting to see which way that'll go. I'm not entirely sure how that's going to work out. Maybe he does come back and play, but some part of me, after what he has put on Twitter, some part of me makes me feel like maybe he doesn't ever take a snap as a Baltimore Raven again. We'll see. Throw to the outside here. That one is quickly completed to Lamb, and CeeDee Lamb is going to have a nice pickup out there on the perimeter for a first down. So these Dallas Cowboys are certainly in it here, as they have gotten something going on offense this time. Hey, George, welcome in. Go Browns. Yeah, it's very possible, Karen. It's quite possible that's how it happened. Although it seems to me like he went to where the money was, the best. Because I don't think anybody else was offering him $15 million. That seems way overpriced for a guy that's hardly been on the field since 2019 with all the injuries. Seems awfully steep. 2nd and 7 here. Little fake jet sweep and a handoff to Zeke. Big hole, and then he's got some room. He's going to score the touchdown. Zeke Elliott to the house there. What a house call that was. Just a nice little hole he had created out to the outside, and he did the rest with his legs. We're going to see that hole open up there, nicely blocked out front, just getting in the way enough out on the perimeter, and Zeke does the rest. That was a nice little throw, and of course he makes fun of his own quarterback there with his little with this little warm-up toss motion that Dak Prescott is known for. Humorous that they have that in the game, especially humorous that they have Zeke Elliott doing it to his best friend. So now a tied ball game at 7 apiece. And yeah, it certainly feels that way, Fellegren. This certainly feels like it has the potential to produce the contender for the NFC in the Super Bowl, as both of these teams are red hot right now, and we've seen some pretty good fireworks from both sides. Now, of course, we'll see what happens. They have to make it through. I'm forgetting who won that other game, actually. Well, let me look. Find this out. I think it was the 49ers, but yeah, 49ers absolutely crushed the Buccaneers. So yeah, they'll have to make it through the 49ers, and they've been a very good team too. But we'll see how that all works out. Deep shot downfield, but goes well out of bounds. Like maybe he was trying to throw that one away. Now empty backfield for Lamar. 2nd and 10 out of the gun. Pressure coming, but he unloads underneath. But not complete that time. 3rd and 10. Yeah, that's kind of what it's this weird kind of mixed bag, Rick, where it's like, yeah, they got him a weapon, and you certainly, even if if he's healthy, he's a weapon. There's no question that OBJ is a very, very skilled and talented player, if healthy. But they threw an awful lot of money, again, at yet another player that, now it wasn't a long-term contract, it's only a single-year deal, but, this is just more money that they could have, put together and put a deal in front of Lamar to keep what is clearly a franchise quarterback. And they've had that opportunity. They could have set the market themselves. And the offer that they made that was not accepted because of Deshaun Watson's contract, that same offer, if offered to set the market back in, before Josh Allen got his deal, coming off of that MVP season in 2019, they make that offer at first opportunity before anybody else has a chance to strike. There's no way he turns that down. He's definitely signing that contract, and then they have him locked up. So, very interesting story there in Baltimore. 1st and 10. Dak with a little shoulder fake. He's going to try to scramble here. Now throwing over the middle. And a bit of a dangerous throw, well underthrown, but more defenders in the picture there because he couldn't get it as far as he intended. 2nd and 10 now to Zeke out to the outside, stretching it. He's got the first down and then pushed back across the line. Yeah, certainly, Fellegren, back to that discussion about the, winner of this game going to play the 49ers. That should be a really fun game. I think it should be quite entertaining to see how that one turns out. But the thing is, that's what I'm saying though, Rick. This is everybody's trying to say that the Browns, this is the Browns' fault, but I actually don't think that's the case at all. Is that one is complete over the middle and for quite a few yards, as Gallup was roaming free in some space. Yes, so you can't say that Deshaun Watson's deal didn't negatively impact the situation there in Baltimore, in that it made it worse. You could certainly say that. Because they are unprepared to match a fully guaranteed contract, and really it's allowing, they're basically ruining the day they chose not to pay him in advance of that contract. So yeah, we made it worse, but it's not because of Deshaun. That's really the hens coming back to home to roost. They're kind of their choice of actions, not paying Lamar when they had the chance and betting against the quarterback market, which is usually a bad bet. And sure enough, it turned out to be a bad bet. Yeah, Dallas really is looking pretty good here, Fellegren. A little I formation now up to the up back. That's a tight end because they don't have a traditional fullback. But Mason does get 4 yards on that carry, 2nd and goal. Now the fake to Zeke, and he's just going to get buried, as Ibikidi was not fooled there, and he does get a sack. 3rd and goal now from the 10-yard line. So Dak Prescott out of the gun, trips to the left. Zeke on the right hip. He's kind of working in the pocket, dancing a little bit, and he's just going to throw this one away. 4th and goal, so they're going to just settle for the 3 points here, as what was looking like a pretty good drive is going to come to a stuttering halt after that sack, that red zone sack, which put them back on the 10, and then good coverage on the subsequent play to result in just a throwaway and a 3-point field goal to give them a 10-3 or 10-7 lead. Yeah, that's exactly right, Rick. We didn't start it, but we certainly put a nail into that coffin in terms of numbering the days of Lamar in Baltimore. And what an ugly drop that was. Lamar Jackson with a perfectly good throw, but just a bad drop there. Right over the middle, nobody around him. I don't know if you heard footsteps or what. This one's going to result in a flag and a fumble. Ball's out. Nobody's on it. Finally, a lineman jumps on that one. That was just on the ground for all kinds of time. Lamar, very fortunate after his 2nd fumble of the ball game, is recovered by a teammate yet again. First one by OBJ, 2nd one by Matthews. And he is now doubly fortunate, having not turned the ball over despite the 2 fumbles. That'll take us to the end of the 1st quarter, and a 3rd and 25 to start the quarter out. Over the middle, looking for... Oh wow, that one nearly ended up in the hands of the defender. Fortunate that ended up incomplete. Not sure who number 5 is on their roster. I don't know the numbers, unfortunately, especially because this is our the numbers aren't going to match the roster based on the fact this is our projection sim for the offseason, and I don't have the ability to go in advance and look at all the numbers of the players. So some of this is guesswork. I do know who's on the team in terms of their front office, or their wide receiver core, but unless it throws it on the screen, I won't be able to tie the numbers to the players necessarily unless I see the names. Zeke Elliott with a carry. Yeah, quite possibly, Fellegren. You certainly don't want to give Dallas a leg up here. They have been very good, and now they're starting with some excellent field position as a result of that mistake, that big fumble that set them back, and then flopping the field here. And they're 2nd and 12 from Atlanta's 46. This one underneath and goes all of 2 yards back to the original line of scrimmage. A 3rd and 10 coming. Dak Prescott back to pass from the star, now escaping, and just kidding, he is going to be sacked. Another half sack there for Ibikidi, as he shared that one. I think it was Grady Jarrett in there with him. So Dallas, even with the good field position, is going to have to punt this one away, as the offense really went nowhere that time. And Atlanta is going to get the ball back after a nice punt, but a very nice punt is going to bury them down at the 4-yard line. But, certainly Atlanta will take that, considering no damage done after an ugly drive that only went backwards after the Lamar fumble. So here comes Lamar again. Little triple backfield pistol look for him. Swings it out to the outside in the end zone. Does somehow pick up a yard, but barely. Now a handoff. Josh Jacobs is going to be met for a TFL back to the original line of scrimmage. And Atlanta really struggling here to get out of the shadow of their end zone. Hey, Mason, welcome in. you're just joining us, thanks for being here. We appreciate you all. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe to the channel, we'd very much appreciate that as well, as we are perilously close to 1,000. I think we're only 35 away. At least at last check, we were only 35 away. This run up the middle is not going to get enough, and Atlanta will have to punt and turn, and yet again, field position going the way of the Cowboys, pending the punt. But certainly appreciate those of you who have subscribed. You've been a very loyal fan base, and we very much appreciate that and all the support. If you would like to like our videos, we would appreciate that as well, as that helps YouTube to get our content out and to more viewers. If you'd like to join us on our Discord, the link to that is in the description of this or any of our videos. That is a great way to catch up with us in between sims, get notified when to expect coming sims, and then talk all things NFL, all things Browns, and then just join the conversation. We also have polls. That's how Lamar Jackson is here playing in this NFC Divisional round with Atlanta, because you all voted that he would go to Atlanta. We had some choices for you as to where Lamar would end up, Baltimore being one of them, and Atlanta was the winner of the Lamar Jackson sweepstakes on our simulated offseason here, and hence he is playing here in this game. 2nd and 2. Out of the gun for Dak. Little handoff to Zeke. He's got some room out to the right side and does get the first down. Nice little physical run there to force his way across the line. 1st and 10. Dak Prescott throws out to his tight end, and he's going to pick up another 5 yards. That is Austin Hooper, former Brown. Dak Prescott unloads to the end zone, but out of bounds. Looked like it might just have been a rainbow. I thought at first it was just like a little rainbow pass to the back corner of the end zone, but he actually put it out of bounds. 3rd and 5 now. To the outside, nice little sticks route, as they call it. Get past the stick, turn around, present the target for your quarterback to hit, and then box out the would-be defender. Gallup does a really nice job of that. And a first down achieved for these Dallas Cowboys, continuing to move downfield, now within striking range of their kicker. Single back is Zeke. He gets the ball. He is going to be met quickly, but sheds a tackler and fights his way for a pickup of 5. Trips formation now to the right. Zeke on the left hip in the gun. Dak has the snap. A 4-man rush, and throws to the outside. He's got his man. That's CeeDee Lamb, who breaks the tackle, breaks another tackle, and fighting his way just to get to the sticks. Nice first down achieved by CeeDee Lamb. That was a very physical effort on his part. Nicely done. You know, it's very possible, Mason, that that's what's going on. I do know, I have a very low opinion of Drew Rosenhaus. Phil and I both do. Yes, he tries to get the most for his players, but I also think he gives them potentially bad advice. We saw how that worked out for Njoku. We've seen how it's worked out for a number of other players that have signed with Drew Rosenhaus. And I think he does it more so to be greedy than anything else. I just don't especially care for him. I don't care for his tactics, how he goes about doing his job, and you know, I always get a little concerned when one of our players sign with him because of what it might mean as the pressure is coming. But that one is unloaded out to the outside, and a quick touchdown here. Michael Gallup on the receiving end, and the boys have struck, as the pressure was coming right in Dak's face, but he stood tall and got it out to Michael Gallup for the easy score. Yeah, I mean, it very well could be just plausible deniability. I don't know that it's necessarily true. I think, you know, obviously I think Newsom has a pretty good point that he made on Twitter, which is like, you know, I didn't set up a softball game here in Cleveland just to want to trade, be traded and move out of Cleveland. So there probably is. He may be a bit disgruntled with the possibility that he's going to be playing some in the slot, which I hear he doesn't particularly care for. But I think everybody wants to be on the outside as a corner because that's where the money is. So I can understand that piece of it at least. Ironically, I think the best fit on our defense is probably to put Denzel in the slot position and play MJ and Newsome out on the outside, especially since Ward's been paid. So I don't know. Interesting situation going on there. Certainly keep an eye on, but he'll set up the screen and that'll be a fumble. Oh, but he missed the ball. Oh no, that would have been a sure scoop and score. That's why they teach you to jump on the ball, forget trying to pick it up if it slips out of your hands and you don't score it. That right there is exactly why you don't do that. Just get on the ball, cover it as soon as you can. Forget trying to scoop it up, forget trying to score, just get the turnover. It's just so much more important that you actually just jump on the ball and get that turnover. Lamar dancing in the pocket, and he's going to dump it off to his running back. That's Josh Jacobs shaking a tackler. And what is up with that? Not sure what's going on. That's right. Okay, I was trying to figure out the down and distance for some reason. I was talking about the turnover. I think they had turned it over. They did not turn it over, so that was why the down and distance is what it was. Anyway, my bad. Not paying attention to possession very well there. So anyway, 4th and 16 here, and Atlanta's going to punt. Hey, Kurt, welcome in. Hey, very much appreciate that like, Kurt. Glad you could be here even for a little bit that you were, and always happy to provide entertainment here on the channel. We love bringing it to you all, and then we'll continue to do so as now Dak Prescott and Zeke Elliott both in the zone for this drive. Could be interesting here. Dak Prescott unloads downfield. He's got a man. That's CeeDee Lamb who does not catch it. Nice defensive contact there just in time to jar it loose, and lucky that strike wasn't completed as Dak Prescott is going to load out to the outside this time. And that one's going to pick up 5. I think that was Austin Hooper out there on the outside. No, Tolbert, excuse me. His fourth reception, 35 yards for him. Dak Prescott now over the middle. And he had another fumble, but he was well down. That was Austin Hooper. They're ruling it a fumble, I think. But he was, super down. So, yeah, look how down he is. His butt, his back, his elbow, all down. So this is going to be retained by the Cowboys. I don't know why they're showing Lamar. There's the booth review. And no, absolutely, fellow green. We've had an issue with fumbles this season, as there have been far too many in the games that we've watched. It's not been overly realistic, unfortunately, with the fumbling. Now, fortunately, this one's going to get overturned because it clearly was not a fumble. He was super down. A handoff to Zeke, who is out of the zone, but a nice run here with a big hole up the middle. And he is now over 100 yards with that touchdown. That he's with that carry went over the 100 mark, 105 to his credit. A nice run there. Prescott out to the outside. Oh, nearly picked. That was Hooper who had it in his hands at first. Did not come up with the catch. Kind of tipped it up a little bit. And then the defender did the exact same thing where he couldn't control it either. 2nd and 10. 4-man rush out to the outside. And CeeDee Lamb does catch that one. So 3rd and 5. The Cowboys driving again here. And they've got another completion, this time Austin Hooper on the receiving end, and a first down achieved. So all the momentum pretty heavily in Dallas's corner as they are with a 10-point lead here and driving to try to add to it. Austin Hooper has been pretty involved in the game plan here in this drive and in the last couple of drives even. Prescott out to the outside. And that one was incomplete, just out of bounds. Prescott. 5-man rush here, and he's going to be sacked. And that was Graham getting home with half of the sack. So the sack count here, 3 sacks for Atlanta, only 2 for Dallas. And it was Ibikiti with the other half of that sack. That'll take his total up to 2 on the day. He's had a very nice day. He's been present in that rush, providing pressure and creating a lot of havoc in that backfield pretty much all day. Prescott back to pass, throws out to the outside. He's got his man, that's Gallup, with the reception and nowhere near enough for a first down. So you have to think that the Cowboys are going to attempt the field goal here. Hey, welcome in, Phil. And well, they're calling it a timeout, but I think we actually hit the 2-minute warning because we have 2 minutes remaining. So, but Atlanta was charged with a timeout, so we're going to rule that one as ugly Madden mechanics for the clock management, and just as ugly is the kick for the Cowboys, and that one is well short and no good. So. Still a 17-7 ball game here. And yes, Zeke is a very good running back here still for Atlanta, according to Madden, or excuse me, for Dallas, according to Madden, as he has had a very good game, but I'm not so sure he would be that good in real life in this game. 2nd and 10. Yeah, a lot of things are according to Madden in this channel, as it were. We do try to strive for realism where we can, but we don't always succeed in that front, so we don't always get to, oh, that one should have been picked. That would have gone the distance, too, if it had been. Lamar, very fortunate that one was not intercepted, because that would have gone for 6. 3rd and 10 now. He's got his man, that's Pitts, out on the outside, but not enough for a first down. He's been very quiet in this ballgame. I think that's his first reception. First time we've called his name. And Atlanta quickly going 3 and out, and going to have to punt. So Dak's going to come back out with excellent field position yet again. Now on the 43 after quite an ugly punt. Pressure is coming. He's going to unload, though, but again, more defenders in the area. He was intending it for Austin Hooper, but not a great throw. Well underthrown. Fortunate that one wasn't picked. 2nd and 10. Out of the gun. Snap is back. Throws over the middle to Austin Hooper, and that one is complete. 3rd and 3. Brings Zeke to his other hip here, out of the gun. 4-man rush coming, and throws to the outside. He's got his man, and that will be just enough to pick up the first down as Dallas is driving yet again, moving those chains. Now shifting the formation is Dak Prescott. Out of the gun. Quick throw over the middle and dropped. That was Tolbert with the drop. He's got 5 catches on the day. That one not his finest effort. 2nd and 10. Now throws to the outside. Austin Hooper attempts a catch, but kind of awkwardly over the shoulder, trying to keep his feet in bounds at the same time, and was not able to convert the play. So it'll bring up a 3rd and 10. 55 seconds and counting in half, and just scrambling and then going to take a sack is Dak Prescott. So yet another sack on Dak, and a quick timeout taken, as it looks like Atlanta's going to try to preserve some clock here to get a chance with 50 ticks left to get some scoring yet in this first half. Hey, Jonathan, welcome in. Hey, Sean, welcome in as well. Go Browns. So, Jonathan, no, not in this sim, because we're done with our free agency moves. And then in terms of our next sim, we'll match, whatever happens. So if there is a trade for players, we'll look to match those as they happen. But it'll be dependent on what actually goes on out there in the NFL. This quick strike over the middle goes to OBJ. And 22 seconds left. A timeout shown. That was odd that no time did not stop, though. And now the timeout taken. That's Atlanta's last one. Another strike to OBJ as they're trying to get within scoring range, but they're still on their side of the field with only 15 seconds left. This one quickly out to Pitts. He's got to get out of bounds. And he doesn't quite get out of bounds, so that's not going to give them enough time. And they're going to go to halftime with the same score line at 17-7. Oh yeah, in real life, I mean, we'll see about that. I don't know. I'd never discount AB or his ability and willingness to be aggressive and go out and get stuff done, and he's shown that pretty consistently. So you never know. He very well might go out and do something yet in the trade realm. So we'll have to see. America's team versus world's team. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see, Mason. I don't know. Yeah, obviously, if the Cowboys win here, they still have to beat the 49ers, and the 49ers have been very good. So, with McCaffrey and company having very good seasons there with the 49ers, they've been quite a good team. But if the score stands like this, certainly they will, they'll have a chance to get there, and then obviously the Browns will have to get through the winner of the other AFC Divisional game. So we'll see how that one works out. And that one, of course, is the Chargers and the Chiefs. So we'll see. Obviously, if it's the Chargers, that one should have been picked. Nearly another chance to be picked. As Lamar Jackson, yet again, fortunate. He's having a rough day. Still not over 100 yards in the passing game. Only 96 to his name. 2nd and 10. As he is just going to get sacked on that one. Lawrence in on half of that sack. 3rd and 16. But yeah, we'll see if it's the Chiefs. Obviously, the Browns have had some success in the sim against the Chiefs, but for whatever reason, the Chargers seem to be our simulated Browns kryptonite in the sim. We always struggle with them, especially in the postseason. So, I mean, we'll see. The Browns would have to get through the winner of that game as well, which we'll have upcoming on the channel yet to come. Deep pass is just missed by Lamar. He's now 8 of 19 for 96 yards and a touchdown. Woof, he's struggling. Yeah, that might well be it, Sean. I don't know what it is or why they seem to have our number, but they do. But yes, that's part of the problem. Also, Mason makes a good point, Jonathan, which is that what are you going to trade for him? Obviously, you don't have a lot of draft capital to trade right now because of the Deshaun Watson deal, which means now you're talking about trading players. Who are you really willing to give up? As that one is just a horribly ugly throw from Dak, and the Falcons are going to get it right back in great field position here. Hodges Tomlinson in on that pick as it was just a layup for him. He was I mean, he didn't hardly have to move. Look at this ugly throw from Dak, and he's just sitting underneath it like nobody, not even a receiver in the area. There was nobody in the picture for that one. It's just a horrible throw. So yeah, I mean, that is also a very good point that Mason makes. So we'll see about trades. I'm not so convinced we'll actually still have one because of some of the things Mason brings up there, all valid. But theoretically could happen. Like I said, I never discount AB. He is always willing to be aggressive when it means, when it gives his an opportunity to make the Browns better. He's shown that pretty consistently throughout his tenure. Now 1st and 10 from the 36. Jackson searching. He's going to throw the little swing route to Jacobs. Jacobs fights off a tackler and gets more yards. Pick up a 7 out on the outside. Nice effort. First contact was at about a yard downfield, but managed to break that and pick up another 6. Setting up a screen to the outside. Jacobs has to turn around to catch that one, and it goes nowhere. In fact, it goes backwards for a lot. Now 3rd and 9. That was just downright ugly. Curse of the Madden screen. Terrible throw. He had to do a little circus twirl there to catch it, and then gave the defense all kinds of time to get in and make a tackle. So here we are on 3rd and 9 with the Falcons. They're outside of that first drive. Really, their best opportunity here is Lamar is going to scramble his way directly into the teeth of the pass rush. Yuck. That was kind of gross. Don't like seeing it, no matter who it is. Not sure why that happened, but it shouldn't have. Walking yourself into a sack is never a good plan, as Micah Parsons gets in on that one. And so Atlanta's going to try a really long field goal here. A 55-yarder. And it is good, though. So the Falcons are going to narrow this margin to a 7-point ball game. Yeah, no, I agree, Mason. I think that would be a good solution. Al Woods might be a very, very good fit. There's some other guys that I certainly could see us making a play for in that D-tackle room. Free agent veterans that they might look to sign. But certainly Al Woods would be a good fit to that. And then, obviously look to build for the future in the draft, playing that best player available. So we'll see how that works out. As that one should have been picked, tipped in the air by CeeDee Lamb, and then an opportunity for a pick, but nothing happened. 2nd and 10. Quickly out to Hooper. He fights through some tacklers and gets a first down. Nice play from him. Yeah, no, I agree, Sean. He's very good at that. That's probably his, one of his finest assets as a, skill sets as a general manager is exactly what you're talking about there. Projecting the market, taking advantage of the opportunities when they're ripe. Not overpaying for guys, paying dudes, before other teams have a chance to, set the market first kind of thing. He's good at that. Second and 6. Prescott back to pass. Lots of time. He does find a wide open. Who was that? That's a Gallup out there, just absolutely wide open is Michael Gallup. Tons of room out there. And a first down. His 7th reception of the ball game. Now 72 yards for him. Look how much space he was working in there. Just in a massive pocket in that zone. And credit the O-line with making that one possible, as they kept Dak clean for an awfully long time against this very good Falcons D-line. course, they've got Grady Jarrett, Draymond Jones. They've got Ebikidi. They've got some really good players in there. So pretty impressive the amount of time they were able to provide Dak on that one. 2nd and 7 here. Throws to the outside. He's got Austin Hooper again. And Austin Hooper is pushed out of bounds. His 8th reception of the ball game. Third and 2. Prescott throws out to CeeDee Lamb, who breaks a tackle and then is pushed out of bounds at the 7. Nice play from him, and Dallas is cooking with some gas here, finding some success on this drive. Now over 300 yards of offense for them, and that one a very nice example of it. Dak Prescott out to the outside. He's got a man, and Tolbert makes that reception near to the goal line. But they pushed him kind of backwards, and he ran backwards with it out to the 5. This one to the up back, and Mason goes not very far. 3rd and goal now from the 5. No gain on that last one. Prescott to pass. Pressure is coming, and he's just going to throw this one away. Wisely gets rid of it. And so, on a 4th and goal from the 5, Cowboys are going to kick the field goal here to put it back to a 10-point margin on the little chip shot field goal. So 20-10 here, 7:27 in the 3rd. Atlanta going to have another opportunity, but they've got to find more success on offense. They've really struggled a lot on the offensive side of the ball, and it's kind of leaving their defense out to dry a lot here in this game, as that defense has been on the field quite a bit. So we'll see what Lamar Jackson has here, as they need to find some success, and relatively soon. Now a handoff to Josh Jacobs, stretching the edge. He's got some room, and he gets to the first down marker. Nice little run there from Josh Jacobs. Out of this, in the backfield by himself is Lamar, and he's going to quickly throw it out to Pitts and then pick up 5 out on the sideline. Kyle Pitts now with his 5th reception. He was quiet early, but he has gotten a lot more active recently. Josh Jacobs with the carry, and he is going to get 3 more. 3rd and 2. Yeah, no, it's true. He certainly can, Sean. Saying that Lamar, we've seen him put up 14 to 17 points really fast in a game. That's very, very, very true. So you can see that here. We'll see. He certainly knows how to get it done. But that one is another carry for, we're going to see the highlights of it, but another carry for Josh Jacobs, and he gets more than enough for the first down. So Atlanta finally putting together something here on offense, giving their defense a good break that's well-deserved rest out there on the sideline. But Atlanta's offense finally putting together something, and they really need to get in the scoring column at the end of this drive. Now handoff to Josh Jacobs, and he's going to pick up 4. Yeah, it is kind of interesting seeing Lamar run a bit more of a traditional offense, not like Baltimore does. It's kind of fun to see him in that role. I think he's got the skill set to do it, certainly. So, interesting look at that. As Kyle Pitts is going to make something out of nothing on that one. He was well short of the line to gain, but kind of did a little magic there with his feet to get himself across the line. That was impressive. Watch this one, as he is well short there. Manages to make one guy kind of miss, works through a second tackler, and gets himself across the line. Nicely done, Kyle Pitts. First and 10. Snap is back for Lamar. Josh Jacobs with the carry. Big hole off to the left side. He finally gets to it, but the defense had started to close it down. It felt like if he had hit that quickly, he would have been going for a while there. There's a massive hole off to the left side. Now quickly to Pitts out on the right side, and a first down achieved. First and 10. A little tight bunch formation to the left side. Lamar Jackson with a snap. 4-man rush. He's going to work his way up in the pocket, going for the end zone, and just doinking it off the upright as he was looking to throw that one long. Now an I formation, handoff Josh Jacobs. He works back on a cutback there and picks up 2. Little breakdown, running past 14-28. So Kyle Pitts now on the receiving end of that one. His 8th, 66 yards for him. And yeah, I agree, Sean, that they're probably in a place there where they want to start looking at 4-down territory and where does that make sense. So they've got to get more going, but they've got a first down now. They really need a touchdown here. First and goal. Minute 38 left in the third. Jackson back to pass. Over the middle. Got a man. Did he get his feet in? He did. Touchdown. Kyle Pitts for the Falcons. What a play that was. As just an absolute strike from Lamar. Finds his tight end on a beautiful little flag route. Just led him beautifully. And let's look at those feet one last time. We certainly got the right foot in. I think he dragged the left one. They called it a touchdown on the field. We'll see if this one gets looked at. That last camera angle did not give us a good idea where his left foot is, and we are going to get a booth review, so we'll get another shot at it, hopefully, and hopefully a better camera angle to see where that left foot is. There it is. Ooh, that is close. Hard to tell. That foot is certainly in and down. Did he get the toe in? Of course, the cameraman is in the way, so we don't get a good view there. Thanks for nothing, Madden. Those camera angles are junk. Hey, Fellergren. Yeah, they're hoping this one stands because that was a really nice strike. It just depends on where they mark that left foot. They say it is a touchdown, and so the PAT unit comes out. Ruled a touchdown. He got that drag just in. It was a very close thing. Of course, we didn't get a great view of it on the replay, but Atlanta does come away with the score. That's a good question, Applied. I would probably go with the Browns line, only because I think they've built more chemistry on that line, and I think that they win playing healthy and together. I think they're a better O-line. But we'll see. Yeah, no doubt, Sean. That did feel a lot like Megatron for Kyle Pitts. That was a nice play. Just impressive body control to be able to get that left foot down, drag the toe just enough to score that touchdown, and great hands. What a leading, just a beautiful lead throw, just a strike from Lamar. Put it in a beautiful spot, led him just beautifully, and able to get the feet in. So, great play all around. Zeke Elliott's going to find a first down. He'll hand off to Zeke, makes a man miss, but then met by another, shakes that one off, but then is finally going to be brought down for a loss of 1. All that for nothing, but it was certainly entertaining from Zeke Elliott. Applied, we've talked about that. Part of me thinks that he's never going to take another snap as we're going to head to the fourth quarter here, that he's never going to take another snap as a Raven, that Lamar, that is. The reason I say that is because it's the same kind of thing, like he almost wrote a farewell letter to Baltimore, which kind of we saw with Baker in Cleveland. So we know how that one turned out. Now, doesn't mean he won't. He might elect to sign the franchise tag and actually take snaps, especially now that they've got OBJ. Maybe that entices him. But, what an ugly drop from Tolbert that was. So Dallas is going to punt, and this is going to give Atlanta a really nice opportunity here if they can get another drive going to really, turn some momentum in their favor, as it's right in the middle. And that one is going to roll into the end zone, which further helps Atlanta with some field position as it's going to come out to the 20. So at the same time, we talked about the other part of that too is they got OBJ, but yet again you throw probably well over market value at a guy, and it's not like Lamar's not going to know that was over market value for OBJ. Jacobs is going to be found there for a pickup of 6. But you get more money around as that front office in Baltimore, and still nothing for Lamar. So that's been going on for a long time, and I think that's the source of all of his angst, if you will, with the front office, and why they, why he's so frustrated. He feels slighted, I think, and he sees yet another contract going. Not to him. Yeah, no, I agree. I think it is a bad look for that Ravens front office, and I think they're kind of in chaos mode right now, where they are not very organized. Everybody's been talking about for a long time about how stable that organization is. How successful, and they've developed their own guys and so on and so forth, but I don't think it's been fully realized just how important Ozzie Newsome was to that front office, and who he was as an individual, and that leadership and picking talent and all of the above. I mean, he had huge success. The loss of him really in that GM role for the Baltimore Ravens can't be really overstated. I think he was so important to that stability, and we're really only starting to realize it now as you start to see some of the crazy things that are happening in Baltimore and wondering what's going on. And honestly, I think it's because no more Ozzie. Over the middle, incomplete. That one felt like it probably should have been caught, and a fourth down coming. And so, to the punt unit. Yeah, no, I agree, Mason. He has. He should have been paid even before there was a Watson deal. We've talked about this, but he should have been paid right out the gate, coming off that MVP season. The dude should have set the market before the Josh Allen deal. I mean, they should have been first ones in line to sign their MVP quarterback, who is clearly, they built an entire offense around him. He was clearly the best for them. He was clearly the face of the franchise. I mean, they had drafted based on him and having him being the guy. I mean, all of it. It was all predicated on him. And there's no doubt he was he was MVP in 2019 he had an incredible season that year. That he was coming off of that. You pay guys like that. You just don't let them get to the open market, which is what the risk of not paying him when you have the chance is. You take a bet against the quarterback market, and you run the risk that he'll make it to the open market, which is what's looking like is what's going to happen. after all of this, I mean, and that's, after they've effectively slighted him now over all this time, if he sits and refuses to sign that franchise tag, I mean, they're in a bad way. What are they going to do? Yeah, they are. They sure are. A lot of this is predicated on NFL ownership across the league not wanting to pay fully guaranteed deals. That's awesome, Sean. I remember watching the legendary Wizard of Oz back in Municipal Stadium, and he was quite honestly one of my absolute favorite players on those Browns teams in the day, because he was incredible. I mean, he would just make plays that seemed impossible and make him look routine. Just a great tight end, great all-around human being, and then one of very few NFL players to then go into front office and have a legendary Hall of Fame worthy career, both as a player and as a front office executive. That's incredibly rare to do that, and just speaks volumes about who he was, both as a player and as a person, and as a leader of men, really. 2nd and 3. Hey, Kish, welcome in. Yeah, a bit surprising Lamar has not had as much success in this one. Or are you talking about in real life doing Lamar dirty? Yeah, I agree with that too. Madden hasn't been very nice to Lamar in this game, as he has really struggled to put a couple footballs on the ground and not had a lot of success in the air, although he did have a really nice touchdown recently. And then also, of course, I think Baltimore Ravens are very much doing Lamar dirty, and that front office is, doing some really head-scratching things. There's a wide-open hole for Zeke, and a touchdown for Dallas. That one just came out of nowhere. Big hole, and no one there to respond as Zeke Elliott takes that one to the house. Yeah, for sure. For sure, Fellegren. Yeah, no, exactly, Kishin. They're trying to, obviously they overpay OBJ, hoping to, bring Lamar back, and in some ways that's the exact opposite of what you want to do, when the problem for Lamar is money. Throwing money around doesn't solve the issue unless you're throwing that money at Lamar. Yeah, that really does, Fellegren, for sure. It hurts a lot. They're going to have to find a way, both on offense here, they've got to respond, but then the defense has to step up, maybe a turnover. Only 7 minutes and 1 second left of the ball game. A lot of momentum going Dallas's way, so Atlanta's got to respond. They've got to do something pretty quickly. 2nd and 2. Quickly thrown out to the outside there. Still haven't caught a name on number 5. Not sure who that is. Yeah, no, exactly. Yet more points. Oh, it's London. Drake London. I should know that. I don't know why I didn't figure that one out. Of course I knew London was number 5. It just didn't register. Drake London is the receiver that I meant to call out for his 3rd reception of the ball game. Luckily, he hasn't been overly involved in this game. 2nd and 1, and that one kind of to 2 receivers in the same spot goes incomplete. Lamar with 3rd and 1 here. And Kyle Pitts is going to convert that first down. Another sticks concept there to pick up that one. But yeah, a lot to be said for that, Kishin. I think the market value on OBJ was probably in the $6-8 million, somewhere in that range at the most. They way overpay him. He hasn't really been healthy since 2019. He's really strong. I mean, he sat an entire year out of football because of injury. He's been what was that? Drake London with an ugly receiver play, and Diggs comes away with a pick, and that might be all she wrote as the Cowboys look to take this one away after just, I don't know, I mean, what is London doing on this? He just kind of stands there and let it goes past him. Not sure why. Wasn't the greatest to throw, but you still got to at least make an attempt on the ball. He kind of reacted after the fact, after the pick had been made. But yeah, I agree, this is probably over. Yep, 100% cushion. Exactly. That's exactly right. 1st and 10, Zeke Elliott with the ball. Looks like Dallas will choose to wind down the clock, which they should. Dak Prescott out to the outside. He's got his tight end there. And that one is going to be good for 4. Ferguson on the reception. Pressure up the middle, setting up the screen. Zeke Elliott going to be tackled right away. Dak Prescott. Now with a 4th and 10. So they'll give Atlanta one more crack at this, but obviously, they have a lot of points to score in very little time. 3:44 left in this, and down by 10. You gotta find a way. Obviously, this drive has to happen really quickly if you want to have a chance to make a 3-and-out viable for your defense. They got to probably get this executed in under a minute if they can, to give that a realistic shot of being possible. Otherwise, they're going to have to look for the onside kick. So a lot's got to happen here for Atlanta. They're going to go over the middle. That's not how to get it done. Unfortunately, that wastes clock and doesn't get nearly enough yardage. They've got to strike quickly. They've got to use the sideline, try to preserve some timeouts. They're going to throw over the middle again. That's Pitts. That's not going to be enough yardage. Nice play, but they have to get this done sooner, and they've only got the 3 timeouts with the 2-minute warning to go, and they can't get this all done in one drive. Down by 10. Now finally going towards the sideline, but that one's going to be incomplete from Lamar. He is 26 of 44 for 226. He has had an ugly day. 2 touchdowns, but still an ugly day for Lamar. Now finally going deep is Lamar, and that one is just knocked away. OBJ could not come up with it. 3rd and 10. Bunch formation to the right, setting up a screen. What are you doing? Just yuck. Yuck, yuck, yuck. That was not what you want to do there. So, this one is over, as that was really their last shot. Of course, they'll go for it here on 4th down because they have to, but this one is all but over, as they have wasted far too much clock. Essentially at the 2-minute, they are at the 2-minute warning now. 10-point ball game, 2 minutes left, and a 4th and 21 desperation shot coming, but they're going to have an onside kick to follow, assuming they can even get into the end zone. Now over the middle, he's got a man, that's OBJ, and he's going to get that 1st down. What a play to convert, but they've got to hurry up. 1:40 to go. Now, deep, nice throw to OBJ, but he can't come up with it. He had a nice, lay-in pass, and somehow OBJ did not catch that. Surprising. 2nd and 10. And they're going to set up a screen again, because that worked last time, so why not do it again? That one over the middle is not caught. A 4th and 20, so they're going to have to convert their 2nd and 4th and 20 plus. This one going to the end zone or near, and it's out of bounds. So turnover on downs, minute 21, and all the Cowboys got to do is kneel. But you can't. That's the thing, Fellergren. You can't take away the legs. The guy is one of the most gifted athletes in terms of just versatility. Incredibly gifted, but his elusiveness is off the charts. He is so dangerous with his legs. His arm isn't the best in the NFL. He can make the throws when he needs to. He's shown that. He's not always on target. He's not his biggest threat, but you can't take away the legs. I mean, now, when the injuries catch up to him, at some point I think they will. Yeah, at that point you can pretty much write him off, but I don't think that's certainly yet. And until such a point, I think you do need to pay him, because he is, right up until that moment, he's a franchise guy, and he will, make your team better. There's a statistic out there about how many wins he gives your team, and he's somewhere in the neighborhood of like 9 wins expected because of him on being playing for your team. Which is a crazy stat. He's like number 2 or 3 in the NFL. I think only like Patrick Mahomes is ahead of him in that. So, he certainly deserves to be paid. And I don't think you sit here and say, well, he's not that great of a quarterback if he doesn't have if it weren't for his legs. I don't think you can discount that. Yeah, Fellergren, with you on that for sure. The Madden and its screen game leaves a whole lot to be desired. Lamar over the middle, and that one is dropped. Yeah, no, he didn't. He was kind of more in a traditional offense here, so I guess that's why he wasn't running. He did take a lot of sacks, though, which you expect him to be a lot more elusive back there in the pocket. Both escaping pockets and getting away with his legs because he's so good at that. So, but no, you're right. He did not run very much in this one. So that'll do it for us here, as a 27-17 final is your scoreline. And this one is Dallas will advance the NFC Championship game, where they will take on the 49ers of San Francisco in that NFC Championship ball game. It should be a fun one. We'll have that one coming up for you on the channel. But first, we need to finish out the AFC Divisional, which is going to pit the LA Chargers against the Kansas City Chiefs, which will be a lot of fun. And then the winner of that game will take on the Browns. But this one certainly was a fun game. Dallas kind of had their way most of the way through this game, as Atlanta showed a lot of sparks at times, but just ultimately couldn't get it done. Phil's going to, on the video, take us quick through the stats here. 35-48 was Dak Prescott. A bad game for Lamar, 27 of 50 for him. Josh Jacobs had 78 yards on the ground at 5.5 a carry. 139 for Zeke on 24 carries and 2 touchdowns. Big day for him. Cooper, leading catcher, with 10. 65 yards for him. Gallup with 79. Lamb with 83. Kyle Pitts, 14, 111 and a touchdown. Big day for him. Josh Jacobs also involved. OBJ had a little bit of a struggling game. Had 14 tackles for Sewell in this game, the leading tackler for the Falcons. 2 sacks for Ebiketie, 1 for Wilson, half for Graham, half for Jones. We had, for the Cowboys, leading the way was Anthony Walker Jr. on the tackles. And then in terms of the sacks, we have 2.5 for Micah Parsons, and then 2 for a handful of players there as well, and 1 interception for Trayvon Diggs. So that'll be the end of the game. I think Phil's going to show you the playoff picture here at the very end of this video, so you get a look at it. I already kind of covered it for you. But certainly interested to see. Obviously, I think Browns fans want the Chiefs to win that one so that we can face the Chiefs rather than the Chargers, as the Chargers seem to have had our number in the playoffs here in the sim. But anyway, so there's the look at the playoff pictures. In this one, we'll appreciate you having us with it, or being with us here on the channel. We enjoyed having you, and we'll say go Dallas. And as always, go Browns!